Hey yo! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to VK Punk Wrestling, your soon-to-be recognized, undisputed heavyweight champion of all wrestling content. I am your host, Vince C. Punk, and I'm here to deliver the kind of hard-hitting analysis that'd make a steel chair jealous. Before we dive into the chaos of Friday Night SmackDown, I need you to do me a solid, smash that thumbs up button, sling the subscribe button through the turnbuckles, and give the bell icon a flying elbow drop so you never miss a moment of our action. Missing a VK Punk video, that's like botching your big spot at WrestleMania, and we don't play those games here. Guys, I am still riding the adrenaline from a whirlwind of a couple weeks, and with WrestleMania looming, my plate's fuller than a buffet at a heel victory party. Between prepping for Mania, catching a Disturbed concert the day before, and juggling a home remodel, I've been running around like I'm chasing a 24/7 title. Apologies for the delay on this video, but trust me, we're unloading a truckload of content on you guys. This SmackDown review, I put out a Raw preview earlier. We're probably going to do a news roundup maybe. If we don't do a video, it probably won't be that one. We're, of course, going to do the YAYY BOOO Raw review. We got to do our prediction wars video. Plus, we're going to be doing like a WrestleMania elevated podcast. We've done one of those before. You can go check it out in our video library. Plus, live streams and reactions for both nights of the big show. It's a lot, but I'm tougher than a $2 steak, and I'll get it done, and it's all going to be epic. Let's give a quick shout out to our reigning channel champion, AK Havoc. He needs to hold that title really tight because we're only a few days, man, and I'm coming forward at Mania. That goal's been calling my name louder than a sold-out crowd, and as always I say, it should have been me. But VK Punk Wrestling, we the ones for wrestling content. Alright, so now, guys, one more thing before we break down SmackDown. Let's give a standing ovation to our amazing sponsor, Capco Championship Belt. These folks craft replicas so stunning they'd make even the cockiest champ trade their ego for a mirror. Wrestling, UFC, boxing, if it's a title worth winning, Capco's got it. And if you got a crazy custom belt idea, they have a belt-making maestro named Abdul that will turn your vision into a masterpiece. They're working on a one-of-a-kind beauty for this channel that's in production, and I can't wait to have it to show you guys. But there's a lot more to them than belts. They do shirts, vests, jackets, gloves, masks, anything that you can think of almost. I've seen them do a lot of impressive stuff. I've stocked up on their gear. If you check my older videos, you'll see some. I'm still waiting to break out this really amazing title that he made for me. The New Japan World Heavyweight Championship, man. It's like fully stacked. 5 layers, man. It's really cool. But you can head to www.capcointernational.com. Tell them Vin sent you with a folding chair high five. All right, so let's lace up and dive into this SmackDown that was live from Seattle. Okay. Of course, SmackDown always starts off with the postcard-worthy montage of the Seattle skyline, smoothly transitioning to a shot of Allegiant Stadium, where, of course, WrestleMania is going to be. Commentator Joe Tessitore runs down the card as we catch glimpses of heavyweights like Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, Legado del Fantasma, Rey Fenix, Cody Rhodes, all strutting into the arena. Joe and Wade Barrett trade some quick-witted banter, run down the card. Wade's dry humor is sharper than a shiv. Before tossing to a recap of Kevin Owens' emotional farewell as he heads for surgery, and Randy Orton laying Nick Aldis out with an RKO so crisp it deserves its own highlight reel. In the ring, the general manager, Nick Aldis, is there already, and he grabs a mic in his suit that screams authority. To address last week's chaos, he zeroes in on one particular moment and calls out Randy Orton. Seattle erupts at Randy Orton. They must really like him there. The chanting out his theme. They really putting up some good heat for Orton. Orton slithers out, actually wearing pants and not his gear. He locks eyes with the WrestleMania sign, milking the moment like the veteran that he is. He smirks, referencing the fine he doubled up on last time, saying, "We're even." But here's the rub. It's his 20th WrestleMania and he's got no dance partner. Randy pleads with Aldis to book him, even throwing a curveball. Lose the suit, Nick, and gear up for a fight. I'll be honest, my heart skipped a beat. I'm really hoping that this is where we're going. But you talk about a swerve that would really pop the internet. I think it's already known, but this would be amazing. But Aldis, however, isn't phased. He counters that he's grinded 20 years to earn his spot in this company, and he doesn't need Orton's money. He actually wants Orton's respect. Orton, ever the Viper, claims that Aldis has it. Unless he can't deliver on a match, the tension's thicker than a Brock Lesnar steak. When Orton brings up Mickey James tearing up over Aldis's decision and what it's going to do. A low blow from Randy, but I respect the hustle. Just when it starts to get pretty juicy, Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga strut out, telling Orton to hit the road pretty much. Solo's pushing Jacob Fatu as the next U.S. champ, claiming Randy will be stuck at home twiddling his thumbs alone. Orton's grinning like he's hearing voices, and he even says the voices are talking to me. Says that they have some set of marbles on them for coming out. And he dares them to step in the ring, and they bite. Randy pounces, but the number game eventually catch up until LA Knight charges in like a megastar, even in the odds. Orton and Knight clean house. Knight grabs a mic, dismantling Solo's bravado and locking in a tag match for later tonight. The verdict for this one, unfortunately, is a boo. Guys, this was actually pretty good. The drama here was hotter than a Hell in a Cell inferno. Aldis held his own. Orton was peak Viper, and Solo and Tama played their roles like seasoned heels. Seattle ate it up, and LA Knight's save was a money moment. But here's the problem. We got no resolution for Randy's Mania match. It's like building a killer angle, hyping the crowd, and then forgetting to book the finish. Is Aldis lacing up? Is Randy crashing the U.S. title match? The story's dangling like a wrestler caught up in the ropes, and for a show that is so close to Mania, it's a real fumble. We needed a hint, a tease, something to sink our teeth into. I feel like the thing with Aldis could be a little bit of a tease, but it really didn't seem to get cemented in there, and it's just up in the air. But we're still left wondering if Orton's going to be cutting promos in the parking lot come Sunday. Great segment in execution, but no payoff. It's like a 5-star match ending in a DQ. It just wasn't what anybody wanted. We want to know what's going on with Randy Orton for freaking Mania, man. Next, we get backstage. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez lurk near commentary, kind of coming out to watch the gauntlet. It's going to be kicking off for like a number one contenders match for Mania for the tag titles. Bayley and Lyra Valkyria hit the ring first. Riding momentum from their banger earlier this week. They're the odds-on favorite, but starting first in a gauntlet that's like wrestling a 60-minute Ironman match with a hangover. It's really tough sledding. Their opening opponents were the Pure Fusion Collective. Yes, still clinging to that name despite Sonya Deville's exit. Come out swinging with Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. Bayley outsmarts Shayna's arm stomp. A rare escape that had me double taking because nobody's smart enough to just get up when she goes to stomp. But she trades blows with Zoe, who's all fire and fury, before Lyra tags in. Zoe blindsides her for a near fall. We get some sloppy tag work from PFC. Hands them control. But Lyra's no rookie. She flips a script with a jackknife pin on Shayna to advance. Next up is Natalya and Maxine Dupree. After a break, Natalya's unloading strikes like she's auditioning for a Street Fighter cameo. Bayley tags in only to eat a lariat that makes Stan Hansen proud. Maxine is a revelation here, hitting a crossbody off the top. Her quirky caterpillar for a near fall. I think it's ridiculous, but it's okay. It's working. She's growing faster than a rookie on a hot streak. Natalya hunts for a sharpshooter, but Bayley's savvy, rolling her up to move on. The Party Girls, Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, bring their high-octane double-team game, nearly stealing it with their keg stand. Bayley and Lyra rally, with Lyra pinning Chance after a slick Nightwing. So next up are Michin and B-Fab. They step up and they step to the ring. I'm actually rooting for these underdogs like they're fighting for a last ticket to Mania, which they are. They dominate early, catching Lyra off guard, but Bayley's Rose Plant and some clutch teamwork secure another pin. Finally, the secret Hervis, Alba Fire, that name is ridiculous, and Piper Niven roll in, all power and menace. After a break, Bayley is fighting for her life, landing a double DDT to shift the momentum. Lyra tags in, running hot until a suplex goes sideways. Her legs clipping the ropes. Looked a little rough. She seemed to be okay. But chaos erupts. Piper's side slam, Alba's double team pin attempt, and a strike fest that makes Strong Style blush. Bayley's Bayley to belly, and Lyra's leg drop from the ropes finally put the Secret Service down, earning them the Mania spot. So, I'm going to do, I feel like, what everybody's doing here. And this is not good. Don't get me wrong. The action was relentless. And Bayley and Lyra going wire to wire was a testament to their grit. The crowd was hot, and moment like Maxine's glow up and Michin's fire kept me glued. But this gauntlet felt like a Frankenstein's monster of random teams stitched together for one purpose: getting Bayley and probably Liv Morgan on the Mania card. Michin and B-Fab, not a real unit. Natalya and Maxine, a makeshift pairing. The Party Girls, missing since the last solar eclipse. The Secret Harvest, too green to have any momentum. And by green, I just mean that their pairing is new. They're newly introduced as a tag team. Even Bayley and Lyra feel like a temporary tag team thrown together just for drama and to get them on the Mania card without adding too many more matches. The tag titles really are an afterthought here. Props in the bigger story about Bayley and Lyra's brewing tension. Remember that Raw hand slap where they weren't quite synced, but then she goes back in and hugs her? That's the real payoff. Likely with Bayley turning heel at Mania. The match was fun, but the division deserves better than being a plot device. It's like booking a ladder match just to break a friendship. Cool, but where's the substance? Are Bayley and Lyra winning the titles? Doubt that, and that's probably what's going to cause some kind of turn. This was a means to an end, and the tag scene is left holding the bag. So once again, not with it. All right, so next we get Joe Tess teasing the Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair drama before we dive into a recap of Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest's blood feud, punctuated by a backstage beatdown that left jaws on the floor. It's official. They are colliding in a street fight at WrestleMania, and I'm already stocking up on popcorn because this is going to be a ride. Backstage, Priest strides towards the ring, all menace and purpose, but Drew ambushes him while he's still on the ramp, swinging like he's auditioning for a Tarantino flick. In the ring, Drew snatches a mic, preaching his truth and pinning every career setback of his on Priest. He mocks accepting Priest's challenge with a busted eye, then plot twist, rips off his eye patch, revealing a perfectly fine eye and crowing Wolverine. The man's got more layers than a heel turn in a soap opera. Priest storms back, mowing through security like a hot knife through butter. They brawl like barroom brawlers, spilling outside. Drew thumbs Priest's eye, grabs the steel steps, and plants him with a future shock DDT as Joe Tess belts out, "Oh no." It was such a dramatic line from Joe, and I don't really know why, but just the way he said, "Oh no," it was. Drew caps it by ripping off Priest's chain, strutting away like he owns the joint. So now I think that Drew is just a kleptomaniac who takes people's jewelry, like he did it with Punk and the friendship bracelet thing. Now he's taking Priest's chain. Anyway, we are gonna give this segment a yay. Uh, this segment has got more juice than a citrus farm. Drew's fake eye injury reveal was wrestling storytelling. Classic wrestling storytelling, I guess at its finest. I leaned over to KC mid segment and I called it. I said Drew's gonna peel off that eye patch, and so of course when he did, the crowd lost it. It's classic heel work, misdirection, arrogance, and just enough truth to really make you hate him. Priest's comeback was fire, selling desperation and rage without saying a word. Their brawling has been chaotic in the best way, and a street fight at Mania feels like the perfect canvas for their grudge. But here's the $1,000,000 question: what's the finish? Drew's been building up to another big Mania moment, but after dropping the ball last year after just a couple of minutes, can he capitalize on this? Or is Priest's chance to reclaim the main event spotlight shutting down Drew's mouth for good? The psychology here is on point. Drew blaming Priest for his failures, Priest fighting for redemption, but the outcome's a coin toss. Either way, this feud's got me invested, and I'm expecting a war. Book it, tear it down, rebuild it, let's go. Okay, we head backstage after this. DIY is spiraling about some conspiracy theory. Excuse me. While Pretty Deadly mocks them, those lads are funnier than a botch promo, and I'm here for it, man. I really love Pretty Deadly. The Motor City Machine Guns kind of swagger in, hyping their tag title match and tossing shade at DIY like it's a roast. We cut to a slick Ray Phoenix vignette, even though he's already made his debut. But then Legado del Fantasma music hits and Berto enters with Santos Escobar and Angel Garza. But Santos, ever the puppet master, sends Berto to the ring alone. Okay? So Phoenix entrance, real spectacle that it is. I know I've said that about him and Penta, but lights, pyro, and music so catchy, it's probably stuck in your head by now. I really liked his theme song too. The match is a lucha libre fever dream. Berto stuns with a corkscrew tope con hilo, but Phoenix fires back with a missile dropkick that screams precision. After a double down, Phoenix unleashes some chops, a headbutt, and another corkscrew dive that defies gravity. Berto counters with Liger bombs for a heart-stopping near fall, but Phoenix flips a top rope exchange into a Hurricane Rana, then seals it with the Mexican Muscle Buster. Post-match, Santo plays Peacemaker, lifting both men up. Berto offers a reluctant handshake to Phoenix, and Santos follows suit before bailing, leaving questions hanging here. The verdict of this overall, I'm gonna say, is a yay. There were some plot holes that I guess we'll just figure out later. But this was wrestling art, plain and simple. Berto and Phoenix turned the ring into a canvas, painting with high-flying chaos and technical finesse that would make a lucha purist weep. Every move popped, from Berto's tope to Phoenix's muscle buster, and Seattle was eating out of their hands, but the real magic's in the story. Santos' post-match diplomacy felt like a chess move. Is he eyeing Phoenix for Legado del Fantasma? Berto's half-hearted handshake screamed inner conflict, and later, backstage, his tension with Andrade hinted at a fracture. Is Berto wavering under Santos's thumb? Could Andrade pull him away, splitting Los Garza down the middle? Maybe Angel stays loyal to Santos while Berto flips. There's a dozen ways this can go. I'm not sure which way it's going to go, but I am itching to see it unfold. This isn't just a match, it's a slow burn saga with layers, like telenovela with dropkicks, man. After Mania, this needs to hit the main stage because it's money in the making if you can really do it right with all of these lucha guys. It would be really, really freaking amazing. All right, so now Byron Saxton is backstage, catching Roxanne Perez for a quick word when Tiffany Stratton, excuse me, crashes the party, sparking a catfight outside Nick Aldis's office. Tiffany demands a match tonight. Someone's got a chip on her shoulder, the size of that title belt. We pivot to a CM Punk and Paul Heyman video package, leaning hard into their best friends to betrayers arc. Nostalgia really done pretty good here. Backstage, Chelsea Green's yelling through the trainer's door like she's auditioning for a reality show. Zelina Vega slinks in, taunting Chelsea about flying solo tonight for her match. Zelina's entrance hits, followed by another cryptic smoke vignette. Still thinking it's Aleister Black. Can't really see it being anybody else. But I'm ready to be swerved, and if it's Aleister Black, I'm ready to be served. Get that man on the screen. Chelsea's already in the ring when we come back, and the bell rings. Chelsea pounces on Zelina, using underhanded tactics outside, tossing her into the barricades and rummaging for weapons like it's a garage sale. Zelina rolls back in, but Chelsea's posing and taunting, misses the ref's counts, and loses by a countout in a bizarre twist that really seemed to happen out of nowhere. It was just a really weird way to stop the match, and I don't think anybody... And the thing is, because... Boo. Because it wasn't supposed to happen. This one's a head-scratcher, and not the good kind. Word on the street is Chelsea botched the finish. Thinking Zelina's ring re-entry broke the count, she vamped outside, striking poses like a diva, while the ref apparently kept counting, and nobody was like, you can't just stop. The ref can't say 9 and then go, Chelsea, I'm at 9. You know what I mean? The plan was for Chelsea to lose, but it just got flubbed up on a count out that left everybody confused. She was supposed to get back in before the end of the count, and she thought that when she threw Zelina Vega in, maybe the ref would start to count over. Whatever the thing was, she didn't think to get back in the ring too, so that she would also beat the count. So Chelsea's a treasure. Always stealing the show with her antics. This was a little anticlimactic, especially for a Chelsea Green moment when I would have loved to see Chelsea Green do Chelsea Green things. And this cut her moment short, unfortunately. Zelina's athletic, no doubt, but she's not lighting up the arenas. Her spots are cool. A moonsault here, a hurricane rana there, but she's really not connecting with like the crowds very well. Especially enough for a mid-card title push. If you give that title to Zelina, it's really gonna lose some prestige, I think, and they won't keep it on her long. Chelsea, though, she's got charisma for days, a wrestling brain that sparks angles, and the ability to pop heat or cheers on command. This fumble robbed us of the full green showcase, which is always gold. Does this feed into their story? Sure, mistakes happen, and it could add chaos to their feud, but Zelina as a contender feels forced. She's not drawing the reactions to justify it, and putting the belt on her won't change that. Chelsea's the star here. Give her the ball and let her run. Okay? So next we go backstage to where Santos is kind of sweet-talking La Garza, but dripping with condescension. Phoenix recruitment vibes are strong. Woo! Whoops. Okay, Berto, meanwhile, shuts down Andrade's pep talk, snapping mind your own business to him. Then we get dueling video package, Naomi and Jade. Naomi calls Jade a snake, warning her to watch her step, while Jade claps back, branding Naomi insecure and accusing her of trying to steal her shine, saying the glow is fading. The verdict on this one? Meh. I don't feel like I should give it a yay or a boo. It's very mid. Credits where it's due. These the promos were pretty well cut. With both women selling their case and throwing shade like pros. Naomi's intensity and Jade's confidence landed, and the back and forth gave it some juice. But let's be real. This feud is colder than a January house show. Naomi's ring work has heart, but it's inconsistent. She's more flash than polish. Jade, she's got presence for days, but she's greener than a rookie's tights. Still finding her footing when it comes to wrestling in a big way. Their Mania match feels like a recipe for sloppiness with missed spots and awkward pacing looming, um, botches, and a whole bunch. Why should I care? There's no meat to the story. It's just two names slapped together because one of them pushed him on a car, and I guess all the beatdown since hasn't really cleared the air. A quick Jade squash might salvage it, keeping her aura intact without exposing her limits. But on wrestling's biggest stage, that's a tall order. This feels like a bathroom break match, and I hate saying that because both of them really deserve better. And more importantly, we as the WWE Universe deserve better. Maybe they'll prove me wrong, but my hype meter is stuck on low for this. Cody Rhodes' entrance is a marathon as always, complete with pyro and fanfare. Finally landing him in the ring with a mic. Seattle chants his name European style, and he soaks it in, thanking them for their support. He waxes poetic about the world's title legacy, saying it marks the best wrestler alive, but he won't hold it forever. It's about the future champs. Then he pivots to John Cena, sparking dueling chants of "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks." Cody notes Cena snubbed Seattle on his farewell tour and leans into being called a common fan, tying it to his suits. He's just a guy who wants to be somebody. Pointing at title replicas, he name drops legends. Eddie Guerrero, pausing at the spinner belt to roast Cena's shoes and ego, I guess. Cody insists the universe can love someone else and vows to outshine Cena at Mania, leaving him the ring for his goodbye. So we're gonna go ahead and give it a yay, sorta. Maybe we'll also give it a boo. Let's talk about it first. This promo moved the Cena feud forward, no question, but very slowly. Cody's painting himself as the everyman against Cena's larger-than-life farewell is compelling, and the title legacy talk added depth. When Cena shows up, it's gonna pop huge. Seattle's chance prove the heat's there, but Cody alone in the ring, it's like watching paint dry in a three-piece suit. His delivery's polished, but it lacks the spark to carry 15-minute solo. As champ for a year, he's been fine. He's the wholesome face kids love, the good in wrestling's morality play, but he's not elevating the title to Flair or Austin levels. His return was hyped as a game changer, but it felt more like a steady hand than a revolution. Compare this to, say, Punk Rollins cutting a solo promo. There's an edge Cody's missing. He just doesn't have it. Still, this segment built Mania's anticipation, teasing the clash that'll deliver emotionally, even if the execution here was a bit sleepy. It's a passing grade, but I'm banking on Cena to bring the fire and even to win the championship. Okay, so next, Joe Tess and Wade hype Cena's return and dropped the first mention this year of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Talk about a late addition to the card. It'll probably be on one of the pre-shows or the SmackDown before. Byron Sexton catches the Street Profits backstage, chatting about their Mania weekend match, but Carmelo Hayes and The Miz crash, mocking them and hinting at a title challenge. In the ring, Tiffany Stratton struts out, trading her usual neon, or her like bright and pastel colors, for all black. Someone's feeling dangerous, huh? Roxanne Perez follows, and it is go time. The opening minutes of this match are a chess match. All counters and chain wrestling until Tiffany's suplex shift the tide. Roxanne fights dirty to claw back, and after a break, both women are down. Tiffany rises first, running hot for a near fall. You get some like trading roll-ups, and Roxanne's top rope moonsault eats the knees though. And a brief blackout for a wardrobe malfunction maybe. Doesn't slow them at all, seems to be handled pretty quickly. Roxanne tries to go for pop rocks, but it's reversed into Tiffany's Alabama Slam. This is countered by a crossface. Tiffany hits a rolling senton, and then the prettiest moonsault ever for the win. But Charlotte Flair, supposedly banned and sent home earlier in the night, jumps Tiffany, Wade Barrett kind of leaps in, warning Charlotte that she's risking her job, but she stands tall. So we're giving this a yay. I don't think Roxanne has a whole bunch of future in the main roster simply because of her size. But Tiffany and Roxanne put on a clinic here. Plain and simple, Perez is a prodigy. She moves like a 20-year vet, and Stratton's star power shone brighter here than her usual glittered up in bright gear. Every sequence clicked. Suplexes, roll-ups, that moonsault finish, and it built Tiffany perfectly for her Charlotte showdown. Roxanne's size might cap her main roster ceiling, as I mentioned earlier, but she's undeniable in the ring, and this showcased why. The crowd was all in, and the story of Tiffany overcoming a scrappy underdog sets her up as the contender. But Charlotte's ambush, it's a sour note, man. I get it. Flair's the queen, and heats her game, and Charlotte Flair is going to Charlotte Flair. But jumping Tiffany post-match just felt like piling on. If Charlotte steamrolls her at Mania, it risks burying Stratton's momentum for cheap boos. Not the good kind Cena's farewell run will generate. Tiffany earned her spot. Let her shine, not just be Flair's foil. The match was gold. The ending was coal. Split the difference, and it's still a win. Okay? So next we get a recap of Seth Rollins and CM Punk's Raw drama. Gosh, excuse me. Punk saving Heyman, no less. Sets the stage, followed by a WrestleMania card rundown. Then it's a main event time. Randy Orton, LA Knight versus Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. Tama kicks off with Knight landing early shots, but Knight fights back, tagging Randy Orton. Randy's a one-man wrecking crew, slamming Solo and Tonga with a draping DDT that's pure poetry. Tonga gets distracted, letting Solo hit a Samoan drop. After a break, Solo's got Orton trapped, cutting off tags like a textbook heel. Okay, Orton lands a back suplex for a double down, and Knight stomps on the steps, rallying the crowd. Both men get the tag, and Knight goes supernova until Solo's Samoan spike rocks him. Orton RKO's Tama, but Solo yanks Randy outside, brawling into the crowd. Knight hits the BFT on Tonga for the pin, but Jacob Fatu emerges like a silent assassin. He obliterates Knights with headbutts, hip attacks, and moonsaults, clutching the U.S. title and tossing it down for another moonsault as the show fades. So this was the main event we deserved, especially after a not-so-hot night. This had high stakes, hot action, and enough twists to keep you guessing. Orton and Knight were a dream team, blending Randy's surgical strikes with LA Knight's megastar charisma. Solo and Tonga played their parts masterfully, keeping the heat on without stealing the shine. Every beat landed, the DDT, the spike, the RKO, and the crowd was molten. Then Fatu's post-match rampage. That's how you hype a Mania moment. He's a force of nature, and tossing the title like it's cursed added layers to his story. But here's the kicker. Is Orton getting shoehorned into this title match? We still don't know. We still don't know his Mania fate, right? After the opening segment's cliffhanger and another multi-man bout risks overcrowding an already stacked card, still, this match delivered on every front. Action, psychology, and a cliffhanger that got me counting days till Sunday. If you missed it, fire up Peacock, or not Peacock. I mean, is it on? I don't know. SmackDown doesn't play on Peacock, right? I don't know how, but anyway, go watch Friday Night SmackDown, and you'll thank me later. All right, so for the show as an overall, in total, it of course gets. I'm slapping a boo on this SmackDown. Don't get me wrong, Drew versus Priest is cooking, Phoenix versus Berto was a banger, and the main event was a home run. But the scales tip hard towards disappointment here. Randy's Mania status is still a mystery. Is Aldis stepping up? Are we getting another multi-man US title matchup? Is there something that we don't know that's going to happen? Is he just going to show up and get a match on the night? That opening segment teased big and delivered nothing. Jade versus Naomi is a snooze fest with no real stakes, and Cody's promo, while story driven, felt like a warm up act, not a headliner. The women's title pictures a jigsaw, you know, with missing pieces. Tiffany is shining, but Charlotte's shadow looms large. And what's the deal with Legado del Fantasma? The tension is juicy, but it's simmering on the back burner when it should be front and center, especially if we get to after Mania, it's still not front and center. Um, Last week's SmackDown was a banger, but bookended by this week and the prior week's duds. We're stumbling into Mania on SmackDown side. With one show left before the grandest stage, it better crank the dial to 11 because a flat go home before Mania that's like forgetting your finisher in the main event is unacceptable. Well, folks, that is it for your Friday Night SmackDown breakdown, and I'm buzzing. The wrestling world's ready to pop off like a rogue firework, and Mania is only just days away. And life has been a whirlwind lately. Work has really been beating me down. Been doing a remodel home stuff that's stacking up, and I'm hustling on YouTube while carving out time to chill. Still, I'm in all of this because you legends deserve it. Things are finally clicking on the personal side, but man, work is throwing haymakers at me. Life is like stepping into a cage match sometimes. Blindsides you with a cheap shot or traps you in a hole you didn't see coming. But here's the truth, you're built for this. Okay? You're tougher than a grizzled vet taking bumps on concrete, with more grit than an underdog clawing for the win. Don't go it alone. When things get heavy, hit up a friend who's got your back like a trusty ally in a faction. Lean on a family member who will roar for you like it's a packed arena. Or shoot me a message, Vincy Punk. Find VK Punk Wrestling on Facebook, Twitter X, and TikTok now. I'm not just spitting commentary. I'm your hype guy, man. I'm ready to slap the mat and fire you up. We've all been rocked by life's punches, stress, second guessing, or just feeling crushed under the weight. And I get it. I'm out here juggling chaos too, burning the candle at both ends sometimes, wondering if I can keep up. But every time I close to breaking, it's the community, the people that I trust the most, the people that I love, that pull me through. You guys too. This whole thing is a lot of fun for me. You don't have to struggle all solo though. Open up, let it out, or just rant about life's bad calls. Your resilience is your secret weapon, and just like in the ring, the real win is standing tall after a knockdown. You're more than a fan, you're the headliner of your own epic. I'm out here waving your flag like a super fan with a neon poster in the cheap seats. Keep pushing, keep glowing, and never doubt you got the juice to own the spotlight. Shout out for riding with VK Punk Wrestling. Drop a like, pass this to your wrestling homies, and hit the subscribe button for all the chaos and glory headed your way. I'm Vince C. Punk, and we're the real deal for wrestling vibes. VK Punk Wrestling, we the ones for wrestling content. See you next time, guys.